Hey all, how's it going? I'm making a video because I am out of town right now. I'm going to be out of town all weekend, so I won't be able to attend the meetup this weekend where people who are running for core have a chance to answer folks' questions and just make a pitch for why they think they'd be a good fit for core. So I'm here at the moment in Las Vegas. Thomas Chang and myself are going with Brian Wong to Havasu Falls. We're going to have a really nice 3-night, 4-day backpacking trip down into the Grand Canyon and see some really beautiful sights and have a good time with some of Brian's friends. A couple of Brian's friends had to back out of the trip, so Thomas and I get to go, and we're really excited about it. So as much as I am going to enjoy myself this weekend, I do wish I could be there in person to answer questions, but since I can't, this video is going to be the next best thing, I guess. So I want to just highlight, first of all, a few things I really like about everybody else who's running. Almira is obviously already elected. Her, Tanya, and Cassie are 3 folks who are extremely organized and all bring a lot of really great values to the table. They're going to be excellent additions to core if they're elected, and I think people are fairly well aware of that. And also want to say that Priya is somebody who I think is kind of like a face of DxE and the spirit of DxE, and as much as anybody, somebody who founded and has driven DxE since its inception. And I have so much respect for her and what she brings to the table in terms of her wisdom, her courage, her ability to speak for animals who we advocate for in such a way that is just amazing. Some folks who maybe everybody doesn't know as much because they haven't been as publicly facing would be my friend Anna, who I think is a really awesome activist who would be an awesome addition to core because she really wants to be, and she actually is somebody who, like myself, kind of self-selected this life of activism and found DxE as a platform, fell in love with that platform, and has looked for every way that she can to make use of it, to connect people. The AV Berkeley chapter was started by Anna, and you might know that Anonymous for the Voices is probably the way that a lot of our activists who are involved most now got involved with DxE. So huge thanks to AV and to Anna. Also running is Rocky. Rocky is unmatched when it comes to being somebody who connects with members of our community and really makes people feel like when they walk through that door, they've got a friend right off the bat. And if AV is a way that we found a lot of people, the way that people stick around is by knowing they've got a friend, and Rocky's a friend to a lot of folks. So I think Rocky would be a brilliant addition to core. Also, Leslie. Leslie's running for core, and Leslie's somebody I've known since the first time I ever came to Berkeley. It was the end of the 2015 DxE forum at the time, and it was just like the last night I came in. Leslie was part of like a press workshop that I caught the tail end of, and people say, you know, DxE is a platform, and we catch some flack sometimes. People say we're a cult or something. I don't think we're a cult, and I really want to mostly be a platform, but I can't help that feel like we're a family sometimes in some ways, and in that respect, Leslie is like family to me. And Leslie and Michael are an amazing couple who I have so much respect for, who do amazing work, who I feel like no matter what I'm going through, you know, currently court cases that could land me in jail this year, they're people that have my back and they bring a lot to the table. And so again, all these folks who are running for core I think would be excellent additions. And then lastly, I haven't mentioned Matt Johnson. So Matt's my friend from way back too. Before I even came to the Bay Area, when I was just living in Chicago, Matt was in Iowa and he would come occasionally. Got to know this guy, super solid, and has been our press coordinator and has done a phenomenal job as a press coordinator, has been so impactful, also has led investigations that have been very impactful and had great ideas and helped us disrupt politicians. We've disrupted Bernie together, and it's been great. So I don't think we can go wrong. We got a bunch of great folks running. So I'm going to blow my own horn really fast and just talk about 3 reasons why I would like your vote for core. So the first reason is because you may not be aware, but the DxE SF Bay Area core also serves as the DxE Global Steering Committee. So we're not just tasked with making sure that we're following up on our OKRs and doing what we need to do for our chapter here locally, but we are leading the international network. And that's something that out of everybody in core and probably anybody in the network, maybe Matthew McKeefery is somebody who does a lot of that too, but I'm somebody who is internationally minded and tasked to the sense that I lead the Rose's Law Working Group. I'm also on the International Organizers Working Group, and I really make it a point to value the international community. We do have a big focus on the Bay Area, and I believe very much in the reasons why we concentrate a lot of energy right here. Totally on board with that. Yet I do also very much value the network. And if you were to ask around the network, around the world, you'd find a lot of people, I think, who would say that I've been helpful to them and helping them apply for and receive grants for their work, whether that's buying materials for protests or doing some really bold actions. And I really think that we owe it to the international chapter to be sure that on our core, we do have representation from somebody who does think about the international chapter a lot and who is involved. So that's one reason I think is pretty important why I would ask you to vote for me. A second reason is that I aim to be representative. So if I'm elected to core, it's not about, what I want or anything like that. What I do is I try to be observant to everybody in the chapter and hear everybody's perspectives at all times and remember those and take them to heart, whether I agree with them or not. And when there's opportunities to make decisions, I try to factor in everybody's perspective as much as I possibly can. And I'm an only child, and I think I do like what they call self-talk sometimes. So I'll like talk to myself, tell myself what I've got to do, whatever, but it's not always just me. If there's a decision involving spur of the moment, anything like an animal who needs help, I turn to Molly on my shoulder and think, what would Molly say in the situation? If there's a situation where maybe we are posed with an opportunity to push forward on some legislation that isn't the most animal liberation kind of thing, but it's like progress in a meaningful way. And I'm just feeling like I really want to cheer for animal liberation, but I'm not sure if I want to, focus on this thing that might seem like more incremental change or something more mainstream. I'm going to listen to Wayne Shung on my shoulder and hear his input from that. And just everybody, I'm going to think about people who have to drive farther to come to events. I'm going to think about people who are more like animal care centered, people who are more legislatively centered, and everybody in the community. So if you're in the community and you know me, please know that I really am thinking about you anytime I try to factor in anything into a decision. And if you don't know me, please reach out, because I really do like to get to know everybody as possible. So the second reason, is that I do really aim to be representative in this role. And the third reason is that I think a lot of us, we have a lot of great accomplishments, whether we're running for core or not, and we have a lot of great abilities. We do a lot of things. I co-manage the ARC. I sweep the floors. I make sure we've got staff. I just at that space and try to make it a great spot. I'm on the design team and help with creative protests. And I mentioned Rose's Law and the report team and a lot of different roles. It's just like everybody's got a lot of really awesome things, but one thing I really do think is somewhat unique to me as far as folks who are running is that I believe that I bring an element of calm leadership to the position. And I think that complements someone like maybe Almira Tanner, who is going to be our lead organizer, and she is the person who I think most of us have the most faith in as far as someone who's going to lead us. Wayne did such an amazing job, and then I think made an amazing call to step down and pursue the things he's working on right now, including helping keep him and I, having good outcomes in court and stuff. And I think that really allowed Almira to step into that role, and I think she's done an amazing job. I think, frankly, our local and global networks are in better places than they've ever been, and I got to give a lot of credit to her. And I know that while she's got all the strengths in the world, one thing that she'll tell me is like, Paul, I get frazzled sometimes, I get upset sometimes. We face crises and stuff hits the fan, and in those times, I remain calm. I, for some reason, just don't get upset in life. Maybe it's because I've lived a life of privilege and I've always been okay one way or another, and I kind of feel that's how things are going to always work out. Whatever comes at us, we're going to get through it together, and I'd never forget that and never lose sight of that. So when things get really hard, I really hope and believe that I can bring a sense of calm to other folks in leadership and hopefully the whole chapter. And I think that's a really important element to have on a team like that. So those are the three reasons I'd love your vote. I would definitely really appreciate if you do that. If you're watching this and you have any questions for me, please reach out and ask. To the extent that I have service or anything for the next few days, I'll do my best to answer that. And if you are watching this and you are going to vote, or if maybe you can't make it to vote, please know you can email Matthew Dembski. Regardless of who you vote for, we would really love to see the maximum turnout. So if you're an organizer, please come and vote on Sunday, or please find someone to serve as your proxy. Let them know who you'd like your vote to go to, and then email Matthew and just let him know, like, hey, Cassie's my proxy. Cassie's my proxy in this case, for me. And yeah, I think we're going to be great. Personally, thinking about in the future, I'm very open, and I believe that expanding core would be great, because I named all these people, and I think that it would be core would be at its strongest if we had more people on it, like 7 people. And I'm open to the idea that maybe bigger teams are harder sometimes. There's definitely pros and cons, and I want to hear all that out. But personally, I advocate for a 7-person core. So please vote for me, and I'll try to make that happen. And if you don't vote for me, I'll probably try to make it happen too, because I think there's will for that in the chapter. But yeah, so sorry for rambling. This has been 10 minutes. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Again, I just thank you regardless. I'm going to be in core and those Monday meetings, whether I'm elected or not, because they're open to the public. So again, invitation to y'all, come through anytime you can. Come sit in the core meetings, be involved as much as you like. Anything we can help with, please let us know. Otherwise, love you so much and look forward to taking meaningful action with you throughout the years. Bye-bye.